All right, what is going on today, guys? I wanted to do a full, review, I guess you could say, of the 50cc scooter I have here. It is called the Amstar Nostalgia 49. So it's a little 50cc, nothing real big. I'm pretty happy with it. Now, I bought this used. I did not buy this brand new. I bought it from a friend from work for $700. I'm not sure exactly how much he paid. I think he paid somewhere right around like $2,000. So he definitely paid a lot more money than I did. And when I got it, everything was already done to it, so I didn't have to do anything to it. But I'm pretty happy with it so far. I'll talk about the pros. I'll talk about the thing, and also talk about the the negatives. I guess we'll get into the pros. One, the price. You really can't beat it. Even brand new, I was looking these scooters up. I think they sell for right around like $1,400. But the good thing about this model that I have, this is an early model, and this has the 4-speed transmission. The newer ones that they have now are they're 3-speed transmissions. So it's nice having the 4-speed transmission in here. You get a little bit more in the top end, and I don't know. I would say it's probably a little less strain on the motor. You're not quite revving it out as much. So, not like that's a problem. These motors really do like to rev, but, we'll help it a little bit. Now, it's not a CVT transmission. It's a semi-manual transmission. It has the pedals. This is the downshift. So right now it's a neutral. So if I wanted to upshift, I would hit forward. That would go, 1, 2, 3... four gears. Then if I want to downshift, you click on this and it downshifts. So that's how that works. It's carbureted, not fuel injected. I mean, it's pretty much your standard, I'd say your standard 50cc scooter, for the most part, that isn't like a CVT. When you get a CVT transmission one, I know they have like belts and stuff, but when you have one that's a non-CVT, generally they have chain, and it's like a standard just Chinese 50cc scooter, really. It's been a good bike so far. I haven't done any maintenance to it wise. I mean, I haven't really put that many miles on it. I bought it with I don't even know, like 600 something kilometers on it, and it's got 972 on it, so I probably put like a couple hundred miles on it. Nothing real crazy. It's nice. It's still nice weather in November, surprisingly. It's actually been like really nice weather, so I've been trying to ride it when I can. But even so, I haven't put that many miles on it. Just sometimes it's hard to find time. But the biggest thing I like about this is you can ride for cheap. It's not that much to insure. It cost me somewhere right around like, I think $100 for a year, which actually I thought was kind of high for a scooter. But I mean, even so, $100 a year, really not that much. You don't have to have a motorcycle license. You can just use your regular standard driver's license. So at least in my state, I'm in Jersey. Every state's going to be different, but in New Jersey, you don't have to have a motorcycle license to ride one of these. You just, as long as you have a standard driver's license, you're good to go. So that's probably my favorite thing about it. I just like that it's just easy to ride. Low maintenance on these. And those are definitely the pros, I would say. I think it looks really nice. I mean, this is probably the nicest 50cc scooter I've ever seen. A lot of times you see them, they're like little Vespas or something, but this certainly does not look like a Vespa, I can tell you that. And I'll actually get like the little like road wave. If you ride a bike, if you know what I'm talking about, you get like the road wave. I get guys on Harleys and stuff, they pass me and they give me the road wave, and I'm like, I don't think they even know what they're waving at. I don't think they even realize it's a 50cc scooter, because I'm sure if they knew it was a little 50cc scooter, they'd be probably giving me the middle finger, not giving me the road wave. So I don't know. I think it looks pretty good. I do like the matte black. Now, there's different colors on these. There's some that are yellow with white, and there's some that are red with white. This one, as you can see, is the matte black, which I do think looks pretty good. But the colors do look nice as well. What are some other pros? This has a higher top speed from what I've seen compared to other scooters. I feel like the top end on these is pretty decent. Now I'm going to talk about what I tried to do in a second here, but I tried to add a little bit of power to this, and well, it didn't really work out all that well. But one thing you can do is the 5-pin CDI. This does have that installed. Someone put the 5-pin CDI in it. It was the place that he got the scooter built at. They did the 5-pin CDI. So that's good. Definitely a huge upgrade. Probably the best upgrade you can do on a 50cc scooter is an upgraded CDI. Another thing that supposedly is a little bit more performance on this is the exhaust. It is a factory exhaust, but apparently from the factory these come with a little bit more of like a sportier exhaust, or not super restrictive like some other ones. So that's kind of nice. I have the benefit of a slightly larger exhaust. And also the LED, also the headlight, I mean, has been upgraded to LED because the other one, the regular standard halogen bulb, was draining, I don't know, draining the battery or something. So they put an LED in it, and that fixed the issue with that. So those are definitely some pros. I think it rides pretty decent. It's not too bad. But let's get into some of the cons here. The biggest thing about this is the fact that it's a 50cc scooter. I mean, it just doesn't have the speed. It doesn't have, it doesn't really have enough power to drive on just a regular road. That's really the biggest issue. I mean, but that's the nature of a 50cc scooter, I tried adding a little bit more power to this. I tried so I can make it go a little bit faster, and well, I kind of ended up screwing it up. So what I did, you don't know, this is the carburetor here, and then the air intake goes up in here into the seat. So I was like, okay, wow, that's a super restrictive air system. Let me try to make it so I can get more air into this thing. So I tried doing my own, custom air intake, and it just made this thing ride completely garbage, absolutely horrible. But the problem is, when I did that, I had to modify the factory airbox. Now you can't get parts from Amstar. They're really hard to, get a hold of. They're a Chinese company, so it's hard trying to get parts for these things. So if something breaks on this or goes missing, you can't really get anything. It's like, that's really the biggest downfall that I see with this. So I've just been running it with no air filter, sue me. But as you can see, here's the intake here. There is no air filter. So I put this little boot back on, try maybe a little bit to keep some dirt out. Not much, it is what it is. It actually rides, it's weird, when you put an air filter on it, it rides like crap. But when you just leave it completely no filter at all, it runs fine. So, I don't know. I did notice it increases the power a little bit too. I noticed it's a little bit peppier. So, I don't know. I guess I slightly improved it, but now I'm not filtering the air, so whatever. It is what it is. Another drawback on these is the tires. A lot of people have complained about these tires, and I'm gonna kind of complain myself. They seem to be wearing pretty good, but they have a very, very slight leak. Both of them. They lose air after a couple months. They'll lose, like 7 pounds of air. So you have to air them up, every couple months, at least in my experience, for whatever reason. And also, when you're at a higher speed, you feel the bike like vibrating, like it bounces. So I don't know if that's tire related or if it's suspension related. I'm just going to assume it's probably the tires that make it ride a little bit bumpier at higher speed. So I don't know exactly what that is, but that's another negative that I don't like about this bike. But other than that, I mean, I really have no, I don't know. I have no complaints with it. I think it's funny when I ride past people with Harleys and, stuff like that, and they give me like the road wave, I think it's really funny. It's like, I don't think they know that it's a 50cc scooter because of the way it looks. I mean, it's not a typical 50cc. It's really not. Not a typical scooter, really, even if it's a higher scooter. If it's like a 150cc. You know, it doesn't really look like a typical scooter. So if you're looking to ride for somewhat cheap, if you find one of these, I would pick them up. The biggest issue with these that I see is the fact that they're just a Chinese scooter, and if something breaks on it or something happens, you can't really find parts for it. Now this motor is based on the Honda Super Cub, I believe it is. So this is essentially a Honda motor. So I'm just thinking if this blows up, which I'm sure it will at some point, I'll just put a little Honda motor in it. That's probably what I'll do. I don't really know. Maybe I'll upgrade it, put like 125cc in it or something. I don't know. Something I'm thinking about doing. But I did another mod that I did to this. These come with EGR. There was like a little pipe or hosing that connects from here to here, and then another hose that connects onto here and then goes up, and then there's like a little thing that sticks out here. I just bypassed that. If you want to say bypass, because it's not like really like a bypass, but I don't know, removed it. And it actually made this thing sound like pretty decent. I'll show you how it sounds. So I'll show you how it sounds here. Move this helmet out of the way. Just going down there for now. Now what we want to do on these is you have to engage the brake. You either have the front brake, which is right up here, or you have the rear brake, which is right down there by the rest pedal. So I usually use my foot on the rear brake, and then you just turn the key on, and then you simply just give a little bit of throttle. There you go. Now it's running. But as you can see, I don't know, this is what it sounded like. This is what it sounded like originally. You know, it's got a nice little sound, I guess. You know. I'm sorry, I'm trying to hold the camera here, but that's what it sounded like. Now it sounds like this. I think it sounds better personally. So that's what it sounds like now after I just went by the EGR. So it does have functional lights. I'll show you the lights. It's got a horn, real loud, has blinkers. You probably might be able to see it, but there's the light. Lights up, fully functional blinkers. There's the LED. It has a high and low beam, like you can really tell. I mean, it's really just a basic scooter, guys. You know? What else is there? That's for the lights. But I don't know, any questions, comments, or whatever, let me know. I'll try to answer whatever I can. If you find one of these on the cheap, I would say go ahead and buy it. You know, I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's pretty decent for a scooter. But you know, what else is there to say about it? It has front and rear brakes. I mentioned that before. The top speed that I've had this thing up to, I've had it, I think, about 45. I mean, I've had it pegged. Not pegged, I had it at like 75-ish miles an hour, or 75 kilometers an hour. So whatever 75 is in kilometers, that's where I've had it. I maybe had like the 76, so I think that's roughly right around 45 miles an hour, which isn't that bad, you know, for a little scooter. So, and if you want to make it sound better, if you do have one of these, you can just remove the EGR. Now, obviously, don't leave it out in the rain or something, because then water is going to get in there and then go into like your cylinder. But I don't know. I'm happy I ended up just removing that, because I'm sure it added a little bit of power. and also I think it makes it sound a lot better. So, all right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.